Okay, I want to start off, first of all, crediting Coach Lanning in Oregon. I think Dan's done a great job since he's been there and this season. And they got a very, very good football team. It's going to win a lot of games this year, as they have already. And he's done a tremendous job with that team. Next thing I want to do is thank our fans. That was awesome. Awesome that they came out in full force today. I want to thank our Zona Zoo, our students, who were in full go today. Our ticket office, our marketing department for selling out. Pretty awesome. And we're just getting started. And, we're sitting here at 3-3, 500 after 6 games, 6 games more to play. And, we're right now 2-2 at home. We need to, we got 4 more or whatever we have left home games-wise, 3 more home games. We have 3 more home games left, and excited about those coming up. But before those happen, we're heading to Seattle on Friday, and we got a big football game ahead of us against UW. Tonight, we didn't stop them. We turned it over, and that's usually a recipe for not winning the game. So we had 1st and goal on the 9-yard line in our opening drive. It would have been our 6th game that we scored on the opening drive. We've done that most of the time at this point. And we're sitting there at 1st and goal, and we fumble an exchange that we've practiced throughout all of spring and summer. So that was disappointing and frustrating. But we bounced back. We drove back down the next drive, kicked a field goal. And then after that, I think we couldn't keep up. They were going, and we weren't stopping them. And then we got stopped a couple times in a row and pinned them back and didn't get to stop. So it wasn't the type of game we wanted to have, but they played a complete game. Our players in the locker room, we tell them all the time, you win or you learn. And in this case, we learned. And we learned how to get better. And we'll go back and keep working and see if we can have the best Sunday we've had all year.
On the fumble play, was the pacing of that the way you wanted it? Were they supposed to be kind of hurrying up to the line and snapping it quickly?
Yeah, it was exactly that. Every part of the play was executed exactly how we wanted it. It was tackle over. Jordan Morgan was over on the other side. We had the formation we wanted. We had the tempo we wanted. To be honest, the pocket just wasn't big enough. Jacob just didn't give a big enough pocket. As he said, he goes, I didn't do a good job taking the exchange. He was the first person that ran off the field and just said, hey, that was on me.
How hard is it on pass defense, the team as a whole, when you can't stop the run?
Well, it's very hard. It's very frustrating. And stopping the run is in a lot of different phases. It's whether it's being gap sound, whether it's lining up properly, whether it's tackling, whether it's getting more people to the ball. But, we can't play like this. We can't be in a situation where we let up 300 yards rushing, and we're going to fight, scrap, and claw to find a way to not do that. But our guys are in a really good place mentally to go out there and recognize that it's going to come down to practicing hard. It's going to come down to execution. It's going to come down to being more physical, and I expect us to do that. We've also gone against some really, really good rushing offenses, including this one.
When you have to sell out as much as that on the run, but against a team that still spreads the ball out, does that just make it really difficult on the secondary to be able to guard when they have to also be coming up?
Yeah, I think what you could see from the while it was happening live, and I'm sure we'll see it on the film, is what they do a really good job of is kicking the ball out. So if you sell out inside, they do a really good job on the perimeter screens, bubble passes, and then what happens is you start cheating up, and that's when they hit 2 big explosive passes over the top. Those were really, you're trying to sell out to stop the run, and that's what happens. But we have to improve there. There's no question about it, and we're going to work very hard at it, and we're not going to make excuses. We're just going to figure out how to do it. There's either reasons or results.
What happened to Michael Wiley in the game tonight?
I think he just got something with his abs, is either oblique strain or some nature, and where the game was, I didn't want to continue with him. I want to make sure that he's healthy.
You talked about wanting to get out on a quick start. You guys weren't able to do that. How much pressure does that put on Jedd and the offense moving forward?
Yeah, well, I mean, we did get out on a quick start. We just didn't score the first possession. And then the second possession, we drove all the way down and kicked a field goal. And then the third possession, we got to the 50 and tried to pin them back to the -9. And then they drove 91 yards on us there. So, then what happened was it goes from 7-3 to 14-3. And still, even at the half, it was a 2-score game. It was 28-13. But we know that we're going to continue to improve. Our players understand that we're not going to treat prosperity or adversity any different. We're just going to get better. We're just going to get better. And if we can keep finding ways to improve, we're playing a lot of young guys that are getting better every week. It's exciting to see the improvements that guys like Jonah Coleman are making. It's exciting to see the improvement that T-Mac is making every week, Dorian Singer every week. Kean got 3 catches this game, first time he's had a catch this year. DJ Williams broke a 50-yarder tonight, which was a big play for us. So there's a lot of positives caught up in what unfortunately was a lopsided game.
Similar to the Cal game, it was a close game at halftime, and then the other team kind of separated in the third quarter. Do you see anything worry you about that particular trend?
No, and what happened to Cal, in this game, it was 28-13. They scored to start the second half to make it 35-13. And then we had exactly what we wanted on 3rd and 6, and the ball got tipped up in the air and picked. And then it's 42-13. And that's just what you have to deal with. And then after that, with 7 minutes left in the third quarter, I believe it was, we ended up scoring 9 points, and they ended up scoring 7 the last 20 minutes of the game. So in the end, I think it was a situation where, when the ball gets tipped up, the ball gets tipped up. We had a couple of those this year that we haven't caught. We had one that we did catch today, but we were offsides. But those are plays you got to make, and it was unfortunate it happened.
After the last incomplete pass that Jedd threw, that he kind of stomped his foot on the ground and seemed frustrated. Did you notice that? And what did you just see out of him tonight? It seemed like there were a few plays ones that he'd been making that he was overthrowing him a little bit, or just a little bit off kilter.
Yeah, I didn't feel. I actually thought that tonight his demeanor was the best it's been all year. Coming off the sideline, coming to communicate, telling me what he's seeing, telling me what he wants to get to. I thought he did a great job. I think we're all frustrated when we don't win. I think we're all frustrated when we don't move the ball and score. That's going to always be the case. But Jaden's a great competitor. I thought he handled himself extremely well tonight. And it was just unfortunate that on that, I think he was frustrated that we didn't maybe turn inside instead of outside when he threw the ball to his inside shoulder. Was really only his frustration, I believe.
It was mentioned on the Pac-12 broadcast that Jordan McLeod's not with the team anymore. Can you elaborate on that?
Nope, Jordan McLeod is not on the team anymore.
You guys, on the last drive, kept in Christian Roland Wallace, Jerry Roberts, handful of. Is there any thought to just taking all the starters out and just letting young guys play at that juncture?
No.
Is the answer to the defensive issues, I'm trying to find a way to, I don't want to say is it on the roster, but are you confident it can get better at some point?
Yeah, I think we have to. We have to find a way to continue to develop the players we have on our roster, continue to recruit well, and continue to get the players that we have playing defense right now playing at a higher level. And we're going to continue to work through that. We're going to continue to build off of it. And we can't put our defense in a bad position either. It should be 7-0. And then, then they got to stop. And then we should have the ball again and have a chance to go up 10 or 14-0. But instead, it didn't go that way. So who knows what the game would have looked like if we were in that situation. So we're a full team. We're a complementary team. There's some plays that I thought our defense played an outstanding fourth quarter. Really, the last 5 minutes of the third and fourth, and they were playing their starters all the way until, I think, 9 minutes or 8 minutes left. And I thought our defense did a great job of continuing to go out there and fight. And that's a credit to the defensive coaching staff, and that's a credit to our defensive players. They fought and fought and fought. They tried to get a strip. They tried to get a pick, and credit to them.
How much of a factor in their success rushing the ball is the threat of Bo Nix also rushing the ball? And what can you learn from that when you have some more dual threat quarterbacks coming up here on the schedule?
Yeah, they're challenging. They're very challenging to defend. They're very challenging to deal with. They do a really good job. This program has been going on now for a long time. There hasn't been many hiccups in, their recruiting cycles and what they've accomplished. And they have a lot of good players on that team. Bo Nix being one of them. But it's a program that has done a great job in the Pac-12 for a lot of years, and we know that we've got to find a way to match that in the years to come.
Getting back to the crowd, you had said on Thursday about wanting to see people keep coming back. After a game like this, what would you say to people who may have come out for the first time or giving you another shot and they see this? Do you want them to base it solely on the performance?
No, I think they should come back. I think it's a fantastic game day experience. I think we have everything you could ever want on a Saturday. You come here, you play college football, you have kids that are playing as hard as they possibly can. You've got great moments and opportunities. Last week, we won 43-20. Each week's going to be different. We're going to find a ways to continue to improve. We're going to find a way to sell out weekly, and I believe that we should sell out again when we play USC.
Is a game like this one where you can kind of measure yourself and kind of see where you're at to get to maybe where Oregon is or the quote-unquote top teams in the league?
Yeah, I think I don't know if we're measuring ourselves. I mean, we played Mississippi State here, and I think they're sitting at 5-1, and the only game they lost was a weird game at LSU. But we don't measure ourselves against Mississippi State. We don't measure ourselves against Oregon. We measure ourselves against ourselves. And we have a standard. And our standard is to perform at the very best every opportunity we have. And if we can continue to do that, there's going to be a lot of wins in our future. We love our kids. We have a lot of young kids. We have a lot of kids that you're going to be covering for the next 2, 3, and 4 years. So we're just going to get better. And as we continue to get better, more and more people will want to join this program. And as they continue to want to join this program, we're going to be in that same position as the teams that have been able to recruit for 5, 7 years to the exact same system.
How difficult does it make Jedd and Delores' life or when Oregon is just able to kind of pin their ears back and come right at them?
Yeah, you never want to be in a situation where they know you're throwing. That's always a challenge. You could see at the end of the half, we hit a run. And, you get a big explosive that way. You got to play the game a little bit. But I thought Jaden, we took 2 sacks. But if you look at the sacks, one of which came off of his blind side, which was a sack fumble on 1st and 10 on the 14. We talked about we got to get that cleaned up. That shouldn't have been a sack, that we should have blocked that great. And then there was one other one that he went backwards on, but that they got us again on a sack fumble. So we can't, on a sack, excuse me. So we got sacked twice. I thought that he needs to continue to work on stepping up in the pocket, continue to embrace the fact that there's always going to be pressure. And when that pressure occurs, he's got to find a way to continue to work through it. But Jedd Delores is an outstanding quarterback. And I'm looking forward to seeing how he responds this week in practice, and I would expect him to have a great game against Washington. Okay, thanks, guys. Thank you for being here.